We are going to discuss problem number 729, which is my calendar part 1. The question is simple and it's a binary search. I will tell you how this is a binary search, but let me just explain what question is asking from us. So basically we are given a program where we have to implement a calendar class, and in that we will be given a start date or end date in a function, and the name of the function is, just let me check what was the name of the function. Name of the function was book. Okay, in that book function you'll be given a start date, int start date, and int end date. Okay, start date and end date. So basically what you have to do, you have to check if your given date which is given to you in this function is colliding with any date which is present in the calendar. If it is colliding, then there can't be any booking, so you'll return false. If it is not colliding, you'll return true and you'll insert this in your calendar. The easiest way to visualize is simply using a number line. Let me just give you an example of number line. So this will be a number line. For example, 10, 20. This will be your first interval, 20, 30. And there is a thing, if there is a date or booking from 10 to 20, for example, like this second end date is non-inclusive. What is meaning of non-inclusive? Like if we have booking from 10 to 20, like this. Okay, 10 to 20. Wait, let me write this. If you are booking from 10 to 20 and there is another booking from 20 to 30, so there is no issue, there is no collision, as the event will start from 10 and it will go till 20, it will end before 20, so you won't include 20. Okay, and the next event that will start, wait a second, this 10 will be inclusive, so 20 next event will start on 20, which is inclusive, and 30, which is non-inclusive. And you can visualize this using this number line, and you have this 15 to 25 interval, you can see. So you can see we are inserting it here, 15 and 25 will be here. So this will be your event, but you can see it is colliding here. So for this event you will return false, and for this you will return true. Okay, if you are returning false, remember you won't be adding this in your number line. So if it is colliding, you can see it is colliding with the interval 10 and 20, so if you return false, you won't insert in your number line, or you can say we are visualizing through number line. Okay, this was 25. Okay, you won't insert. So next, like we are going to insert 20, 30, we will check if the last value on the number line, it is colliding or not. You can see 20, 30 is not colliding with 10 and 20, as I said, because of the non-inclusive behavior of the interval. So you can simply insert it and you return a true. Okay, so the simple thing you can be thinking of, the first thought I had, like you can sort the array, then you can keep checking, or you can insert in a vector. First you will insert the starting value. Okay, then what you'll do, you'll check for the second if this value coincides with the previous value. Okay, why we are sorting the these intervals, as it may not be sorted. So what we'll do, we'll just come here, we will check if it is colliding with previous or not, or with previous, or rather than from the starting to end of the array. For example, if I gave you 5 and 10, okay, this is not colliding. So like you will create a vector, or 2D vector, then you will insert the intervals in that. Okay, like 5, 10, it will be inserted, 10, 20, it will be inserted. When you are going to insert 15 and 25, you will traverse through the whole vector that you are creating. Okay, so you'll check if it is colliding with this, if it is colliding with this, If it is colliding with any of the value, you return false, you won't enter the value. Or if you reach at the end of this vector v, you can say, or the list, 2D list, so if you reach the end, you will just simply insert the value. For example, if you are inserting this, you will check it is not colliding with this is not colliding with this 10 and 20, so at last you will just insert it here. Okay, but the main thing is it is taking big O of n, wait a second, time complexity and space complexity is also big O of n, as you will be you may be inserting all the intervals or the dates in this vector that you are creating. So how to improve this time complexity is a question. When, like, mostly whenever there is a type of interval or 2D array and you have to search, so for searching or for checking, you can simply use binary search. Let me just explain you how you'll be using a binary search. So in that you'll be using a vector. Okay, it will be pretty simple code. I will be writing a pseudocode. I will explaining. Like, you created a vector v which will be having the possible the entries that you can do. For example, if the size is 0, like if vector is empty, so you can simply insert the first interval. So like simply insert 5 and 10. Okay, and in your function, as I said, you'll be given this interval starting and ending. So what you'll do, you'll simply use a start pointer, left pointer and a right pointer. Left will point to the 0 and the right will point at the last. Okay, in this case this is the only last. Okay, so you'll find the mid. Okay, so what you'll do, you'll check if the value that is coming, for example, if I explain through number line, so let me write it in this side so you can get it better. This was the number that we are having is 1020. So you will 1020 will be somewhere here. So you will check if this is coinciding or not. Simply you can use if else statement. If the starting point that is coming is less than the ending point of the mid will be pointing here for information. So if this is less than this and this is more than this, so it will simply return false. Okay, if this is not colliding, there will be two cases. The value or the interval that you are inserting is greater than this interval in the mid, or it can be less than interval of mid. If it is greater than the interval of mid, what you will do? You don't need to search for lower values now. You don't need to check for the lower intervals, like if you have interval 1, 2, 2, 3. So you don't want to check with these values. This is redundant. Okay, you need to just check for values. If you mid is here, for example, so you want to check with values greater than this. If you have other intervals, it is coinciding with this interval or not. Okay, so what you do, if the interval that you have is greater than the mid interval, you simply move right. So your right will be left will be, as a moving to the right side, left will be mid plus 1. Simple as that. The other case can be like the interval that you are having is less than the mid, so you will move left. So then what you'll do, right equals to mid minus 1. Okay, left was mid plus 1. Then you'll be using that simple template of, you can say, binary search. At last, when left pointer will reach at the end, so you will insert the value. For example, if I say these two intervals you will be having, so you are going to insert this interval. Okay, left will be here, right will be here. Mid is equals to left plus right minus left by 2, which will be 0 plus 1 minus 0 and 1 by 2, which will be 0. It will be here. So the interval that you are going to insert is greater than this interval. So what you will do, you will increase left equals to mid plus 1. So your left will be here. Then again you will find mid, your mid will be here. Okay. Then you check if this starting is less than the ending, yes, and the ending of this interval is greater than the ending, so it will be this case. For example, 10, 20, 15 and 25. So this was your old interval. If this is clearly visible, this was your old interval and you are trying to insert in between this. You are trying to do booking between this current date. So this is not possible, so you will simply return false, you won't insert this. And for example, if you are having this interval, let's say, let me rub this. If you have interval 20, 30, so again you will start, left will be here, right will be here. First limit will be equals to 0 plus 1 minus 0 by 2, which will be 1 by 2, which will be equals to 0. So limit will be 0. Let me write this, mid equals to 0. Then what we'll do, we'll check mid is here. If the interval or the date you are booking is greater than the value at the mid, yes, it's greater than mid. So you'll simply move left equals to mid plus 1, as I said. Okay. Then again you'll find mid. Mid will be here because 1 plus 1 by 2, which will be 1 plus 1 minus 1 by 2, which will be equals to 1. So mid will be here. Simply what you'll do, you will just check if the interval is greater or less than, or you can say if it is coinciding. So you can see it is not coinciding, as the value is not less than this value and this is greater than this. So second case can be if this is smaller, this is not smaller, you can say 20 is not smaller than this. So the third case is if this is greater, this is greater. So what you do, simply right was here and left will come on the next index, which will be at the second index. This will be the first index, this will be the 0 index. We are trying to insert at the 20, 30 index. Oh sorry, second index. And your while loop, you can say, will end because left pointer exceed or cross the right pointer. So at the last of that, what you will do is you will simply insert at this position. What you do, v dot insert position will be begin plus starting plus left, position pointed by left, and what will insert, the value that is given to you, 20, 30. Now this is visible, let me write it bigger, 20, 30. Okay, simply insert 20, 30. The thing was how to get the intuition of binary search. The main and the foremost thing was, if you mostly have intervals and you have to search if you can insert, or if you have to search some values, so you are just searching a value, if this is coinciding with any value, if this value is greater, less than or equal, or any value in this array. For example, this is greater or less than or equals to the any value, so then you have to use binary search. But the main thing was optimization, like you go from big O of n to big O of log n, log n. This was the thing. Most of the people don't tell this, but this is how you solve the problem. There was one more thing, using number line. So you'll just keep inserting and you'll be checking positive count and negative count, but that was not very intuitive, you can say. Simply you can just go from inserting and searching from all values, then you can simply just search using binary search. So let me just take a coding part. So guys, this was the question as you were talking about.
Yes.
The first case I just told was if the size is 0, if your array size is double equals to 0, simply what you'll do is insert the you can say the interval or the date for the event. So just simply do time dot push back. You can say pushback also or insert. The pushback we'll use pushback, and you'll insert in a form of pair start comma end. Okay. If the size is not equals to 0, so simply you'll use a binary search to check if the interval that you are inserting is overlapping or not. Okay. So else initialize a left variable which will be 0, a right which will be size -1 or the last index, and what you'll do okay, so you'll simply use a binary search where left is less than right. You will find a mid, and t mid equals to L plus R minus L by 2. Okay, so then what you will do, you will check if the interval that you are inserting is coinciding with the interval at the position of mid. For example, if you only have this interval or your mid is pointing by this, so you'll check if the starting point is less than the ending point of the interval pointed by mid, and the ending point of the interval that you're inserting is greater than the ending of the interval. You can visualize in a number line. This I just told. Simple. Sorry. So what we'll do, if sorry starting point is less than the time mid dot first, or you can say the starting point of this, or sorry, it will be second. You'll check if for example, if 15 is less than 20. Okay, yeah. And the other case will be if end is greater than the time mid dot second. Okay, if this is your case, like 15 is less than 20, yes, so it is coming somewhere between 10 and 20 in the number line. 25 is greater than 20, so yes, it's coming between this interval is coming between this interval, or you can say it is coinciding also. So you'll simply return a false. Okay, and if it's not coinciding, then what you'll do, you'll check if the interval that you're inserting or you are having in this function start and end is greater than the interval pointed by the mid. So if your start is greater than the time mid dot second. Okay, if the interval that you are inserting is greater than the interval that you are having. Okay, or you can say end. Can use end also, doesn't matter. If end, or simply use start. Start will be more. Start is greater than it dot second with dot second. Then you'll what you'll do, if it is greater, you'll go for right intervals. You check if you don't need to compare for the smaller interval, you'll just need to go for the larger interval. So what you'll do, you'll simply do left equals to mid plus 1, else you will do right equals to mid minus 1. After doing this, after the end of while loop, we'll simply insert the value. Okay, so it will be array name dot insert p dot, or sorry, time dot begin plus L. This is pointing to the position that you want to insert, and the value that you want to insert will be start comma end. Okay, and after this else block, what will do, it will return true. So let me just run this code simply. So this was the time array and we are initializing here. There is some error. Time dot size, not time minus size. So this is accepted. Let me submit this. So there was error as this end should be compare. You can see end will be compare by the first value. For example, if we'll check 15 is less than 20, if true, and the end time is greater than the starting time of this interval, like 25 is greater with the 10. So yes, it is coinciding. So then what we'll do, we'll return false. And there's one more thing. After this else block, you'll return true. Okay. So there was nothing else. And you can see the code is submitted. So thank you for watching. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye bye.
I don't believe in destiny, I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my